right, so glad to have you back with us right here on Sunrise. So, you know that we love a career pivot, right? And this one is from Wall Street to Westmoreland. Chairman of the Savannah-La-Mar Inclusive Academy, Peter B. Rose, moved from the trading floor and has been helping to reshape what education can look like in Western Jamaica. And he joins us to share his story and also all the successes that are happening with the school. Good morning, Peter.
Morning,
welcome.
Peter.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
Can we please first, before we get into the work that's happening here, Peter, you were on Wall Street.
That's crazy.
I spent 10 what I think of as misguided years on Wall Street, only to find my passion, a little bit later on.
We're glad you've come to your senses.
And I'm glad I came to them here.
Yes, indeed.
What carried you from Wall Street to Westmoreland?
It's a bit of a long, circuitous journey, but the most significant part really is making the decision to leave Wall Street. I didn't love that business. Get into nonprofit, and ultimately met the chairman of the Rock House Hotel. We became friends. He served on a board of an organization I ran in New York. And I left that organization in 2002. He left when I left, and then about a year later, he asked me to come down and help set up the foundation with him. So that was in 2003, and we've been on the work since then.
And then here comes Sav Inclusive. I want to talk a little bit about creating the school and where it is now, but really where it started and how that came to be.
I mean, it's such a wonderful story, I think, because we had a staff member at the hotel. I'm also part of the ownership team at Rock House, and staff member came to me asking if I had any advice, because she had a son who had just been assessed on the severe end of the autism spectrum. And she got her son assessed here in Kingston, and the woman who assessed the child said, "I'm sorry, there's really nothing in the West." And that really stuck with me. We had a couple of things in the pipeline at the time, but I began to look into it and think about how we could address that urgent need out in the western part of Jamaica. And we decided on creating a full inclusion school, meaning that there are children with disabilities and without disabilities in each class. The Ministry of Education has been our partner from the beginning. We worked with them to come up with a class size capped at 17 children with 3 adults in each class. We have multiple therapists on site. It's the kind of thing really that the whole world needs, but Jamaica in particular, with so few speech-language therapists, so few occupational therapists. We're excited to hear about the program that's being started at UWI in September. But it's a need that so many parents across the island have, and so few of them really get their needs met.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about the concept of full inclusion? So there are some people who will be listening in and saying, but wait, is it possible to have a seamless integration? How does that work? Why is it beneficial? Let's walk through that.
So inclusion is undoubtedly the most difficult approach, but we think it's the most meaningful and the one that will bring the greatest benefit both to the children with disabilities and the children without disabilities. And the reason is that as the children are together, they begin to exchange a kind of early on humanity.
Yes.
There is no 3-year-old that goes out into the world who stigmatizes a child in a wheelchair.
Correct.
They learn to do that. So we're teaching them, and it's a very soft touch teach, if you will. They're just with the children, and you see children helping push wheelchairs. You see children holding hands with children that are less mobile and helping them walk along. And so that's incredibly important. And then really when you think about a child without disabilities being in a classroom with 3 adults with that kind of attention, it's sort of the dream kind of scenario for a school, I think.
I heard once, and it is so true, that the whole world benefits when there is inclusion like this. Like there's a stat that says that people who actually use wheelchair ramps the most are able-bodied people walking up them with suitcases behind them. So, you know, by somebody else's what we call maybe a disability, it actually works out really well for the rest of the world as well. So inclusion like this is super important, and it helps everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, when we're meeting the needs of people who have less access in general, then we're meeting the needs of everybody by definition.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me, you just said, is the empathy that comes, the humanity that comes, the seeing that we're more alike than we are different. And there's so much to gain from that as well.
There is. We have 3 values, core values at the school: love, family, and high expectations. And when you come and do a remote at the school, when that time comes, you will feel the love. And it's such an important ingredient to what we're doing. It's so foundational to children feeling comfortable and really ready to reach their full potential.
Yes, and then adults doing the same, which would be lovely. I just wanted to ask quickly if SAV Inclusive is an MOEYI school.
It is. It's a ministry school.
It is.
We created that partnership in 2016.
Okay, great.
And then we actually signed an amended MOU to create, so the school will be infant through high school.
Wow.
Brilliant.
We need one in Kingston, you know, sir.
Honestly. Actually, while we're at it, we could just each county,
change
you know,
the whole
one
system.
per county, Peter.
You'll get there.
I
mean, I'm retiring at the end of the year, but I'm staying
retiring
on.
to come and do one in Middlesex and Surrey.
That's right.
I'll tell you this though, we mentioned, you mentioned just now the expansion. Can we talk about where you started and where things are now in terms of not just, you know, what happens in a classroom, but what is happening in terms of who can be accommodated and the broader picture?
Well, when we started with 33-year-olds.
Yeah.
10 of whom had some kind of disability, whether it was a neurological disorder or whether it was some physical disability. We have 235 students roughly now.
Wow.
From age 3 to grade 5. We'll have grade 6 next year.
Brilliant.
And then we move on to the high school. So at the end of the day, we'll have about 650 students. And there's children coming from all over. It's not just in that catchment of Savannah-La-Mar. There's children coming from, you know, further afield because there's so little available. And so you understand the sacrifices that parents are making, getting their children, which is often more challenging with a child that's got less mobility or is on the spectrum or whatever, to get their children to our school knowing it's the only option on that side.
Yeah, no joke. I love this. I love the inclusion that you're creating now, but also the inclusion it creates in the future. And I really would love to see all schools be like this one day. I love it. I'm so happy for this, and just it makes me just very happy as a parent.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
So appreciate that.
Yeah,
We
thanks
really
for being here to
Keep up the
share
good
with
work.
us, honestly.
I typically don't tell people no to retirement, but
We're telling you no.
It's not really retirement. It's sort of a glide path to a smoother life.
It's
you know?
still no.
all right, you can live in Rock House, but you can just still, you know, check
There
in.
you go.
All right, our guest has been Peter B. Rose, president of the Rock House Foundation and chairman of SAV Inclusive Academy forever and ever. Amen. There's so much more great stories to come in Sunrise, so please stay with us. Amazing.
Man, that's
Really,
fantastic.
really great.
Picture a school where the abled are sitting next to